All right. Today's AMA is with a very interesting platform, which is called Magicsquare, and we will be talking about the road to Web3 mass adoption. Okay, as the title says, and of course we will get to know some things. Hi, Agusman.
Yeah.
So, and we will get to know about what they're building. So we have Nate with us from Magicsquare team. Nate, is there anyone from your team, or you will handle that solo?
Yeah, I'll be here myself. Yep.
Okay. I'm sure you are more than enough. So starting with some basics, we can see that as information for the attendance here, Magicsquare is a Web3 discovery platform. Okay, so you can have an image. Let's start first with some basic information around you and your background, Nate. So, what is your background exactly, and when was the moment you entered crypto space?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thanks for having me, and thanks for all the listeners. I'm sure every single one of you during this hectic time, you're here to kind of get as much value as possible. So my goal through this AMA together with the hashtag team is to get you guys as much value and as many insights that you can take away after this AMA and practically use them for the continuation of your blockchain journey. So yeah, as the intro went, my name is Nate Holtzman. I'm head of sales and business development at Magicsquare. I started crypto in about, I would say 2015. I started nibbling in it, but I really started digging deep down around 2017. During this time, I had an affiliate network called Real Estate Affiliates. We basically, through affiliate marketing, created a new niche, which is allowing real estate projects to generate leads and sales through affiliates. So we took the same technology, me and Benjamin, which is the co-founder currently of Magicsquare and the CMO. So we took the technology, we implemented it into the Magic Store. And as you've started saying, yes, to all the new listeners, and we also have here a lot of people from the Magicsquare community. So it's good to see everyone kind of joining forces to get as much value from this AMA. Magicsquare is, in short, a crypto app store, yes, we can say. In a bit longer version, it's a non-biased distribution marketplace for blockchain and Web3 projects. And what I always like to say, just to start off with, to anyone kind of that's new to this field, I like to give the example of YouTube. So when you right now search on YouTube how to learn a new language, for example, Spanish, you get tens of thousands of videos teaching you how to learn Spanish or any other language. Now, if you did the same search throughout the whole internet in about 2009, 2010, which is just 10, 11, 12 years ago, you would find that there was about maybe a few hundreds around the whole entire web. Now, it's not that learning a language became easier to teach. It's just that YouTube created a distribution marketplace for videos, allowing creators to say, okay, if I create a video, I can distribute it somewhere and users can find me. Magicsquare is trying to do the same thing for Web3 and blockchain apps. We currently only have about 3,000 apps. I mean, you guys at Hashtag, you guys are the small percentage of the apps, which I'm very happy that we're kind of collaborating and doing some amazing things, which will list you guys on the store as well.
We are too.
Sorry, say again? You are too.
We are too.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to do some cool things together. And there's only about 3,000 mainnet apps on Web3 and blockchain. So we're going to talk through this AMA. Why is Web3 and blockchain crucial to human privacy, freedom, and transparency? That's the only way that we'll see mass adoption, through this educational things. And Magicsquare is looking to incentivize, on one hand, developers to continue and create very interesting and great apps on the blockchain. I mean, think about it. We don't even have a dating app that's decentralized on the blockchain. I mean, we're still very, very early. And developers are still they still didn't make the leap. So that's what Magicsquare is trying to do. Just like YouTube did for videos, Google did for websites, App Store did for apps, and Spotify did for music. We want to do that same thing for Web3 and blockchain applications to continue to incentivize more and more developers. And also for the users, of course, we'll go deeper during this AMA to allow users to easily access blockchain applications and see which ones have been verified. And again, we'll dive deeper into this during the AMA, but which ones are trustworthy, we can say, and which ones are not. So that's kind of a quick intro. Thank you.
All right. So, two major points from your intro. So, and I'm
Thank you so much, Nate.
Yeah, I'm speaking for
Am I audible?
toward. Yes, you are, Drew. So two key points here. Nate gave us a very interesting idea. So anyone who is a dev can jump into it. So this is a dating app. And the second one, which is a very interesting point, is that there are around 14,300 or so, let's say 14 to 15,000 tokens and coins. And out of those, we have, as Nate said, around 3,000 mainnet projects. So the rest, we can assume that they are maybe thin air, to put it politely, or there isn't so much.
Am I audible, Nate? Just wanted to check.
Drew, yes, you are audible.
I'm unable to hear you.
You don't hear me?
No, you're audible from yours.
Maybe
Okay.
text it to log out and log in.
Yeah, Drew, please reconnect again. So, as Nate said, we have 3,000 mainnet projects, and we have 14 to 15,000 tokens and coins. So this is a huge gap, and one could wonder, what are the rest coins and tokens, aside from the projects that they have gone mainnet. So this is a very interesting point. Back to Magicsquare. So you gave us a very brief description about what's the main idea. But if you were to point out, as in bullets, so it could be a bit more easy to comprehend, which are the biggest problems that you are answering or you are improving upon? The 3 or 4 major problems.
That's a fantastic question. So in order to answer that, let's first do a little background on the whole blockchain space, right? Because I know there's a lot of confusion and new people that come into this space. When we're talking about mass adoption to blockchain, a lot of people ask, why does it even need mass adoption? Like, what's the value of blockchain, right? So the same question you can say, when will 1 billion users color their hair blue? But then a person will say, well, why the heck do they need to color their hair blue? What's the value of it? And so to understand this, we need to understand some basic fundamentals, which I'm sure the audience would love to hear. So first of all, when anyone wants to understand what blockchain is and what value it has, the easiest description that I found is that blockchain is the ability to transfer digital information between two entities without the need of a trusted third party. And that's the first time in history of mankind that we're able to do so. And so if you currently Google, for example, what is blockchain technology, you get an urge to vomit because the description is so disgusting. You see, like, it's an encrypted technology with ledger distribution, blah, 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 right? So that's the easiest way to understand it. It's the ability to transfer digital information between two entities without a third party, whether it's a government, a bank, Facebook, Instagram, Google, right? All these corporations. This is the first time in history we can do a transaction that's digitally between two human beings. That's number one. understanding what blockchain is. Now, why is it important? Because if we want to understand also Web3 and blockchain, then we need to understand, and I'm getting to the answer, like what Magicsquare is building. I'm just giving kind of a quick overview and some value to the audience. But let's first
sure.
understand what. Sure, thank you. So, in order to understand what Web3 is, let's understand real quick what's Web 1 and Web 2. Web 1 is when the early 90s, when a website you'd log in, you were a passive user. You can only read the site, you couldn't interact with it. Early 2000s came Web 2. Users can actively interact with the website. They can comment, for example, create Facebook profiles, upload videos to YouTube. So the viewer was not only passive, he was becoming active. This was the .com bubble and so on and so forth. 2008 came, in late 2008 came Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin was built on blockchain technology, but the idea of blockchain and Web3 was, of course, Web3 came later, but the idea of blockchain was to enable personal freedom to transact, transparency, which was on the blockchain, and to enhance someone's personal privacy. So when Web3 started popping up, the early adapters of Web3 said, you know what? In Web 2, the users can interact with the sites, but there's a huge problem here. Because these corporations that are creating those sites, in return of information, they're collecting personal data of the person. So there's a funny post of Google saying, Google is looking to hire people, but you don't need to send a CV because we already know everything about you. So it's funny, but it's not really funny. And so Web3, the idea is to create websites that are using blockchain technology to give back to the user the ability to control what information he's giving out to the websites and what information he's keeping for himself. If we don't need to send our birth date, our name, email, last name, our addresses, we don't need to do any of that using blockchain technology. That's kind of like a brief intro to the whole Web3 introduction. Now, Magicsquare is kind of to fill that idea, wants to enhance all of these three things, which is personal privacy, freedom, and transparency, but to increase the amount of apps that are doing so. So when we're seeing currently that there's only 3,000 mainnet apps, number one, it's because a lot of these applications and developers are saying, hey, why would I even come here? Why would I even create things? There's always sagas, there's FTA, all these things, right? And so one of our main goals is to increase the awareness of the users and the developers, as I've started saying, but more importantly for the user side. So when you guys comment to the Magicsquare, right, you need to do like a verification and validation process, right?
Yep.
So from your kind of perspective, and I'd love to kind of make this a discussion with all your teammates, what's the main thing that you thought about the whole verification process? Like, what's the added value you thought?
Sorry, because I lost you. Can you just repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. So, for example, hashtag. When you guys come to the Magic Store, which is a crypto app store, you guys want to list yourselves. You saw that there's a verification process, right? When you try to list, then you don't automatically get listed on the store. What happens is you finish the listing, and then we're operating as a DAO, so as a decentralized autonomous organization, where we're not the ones that say if you guys can be listed or not, right? So one of the ones that say hashtag is verified or not. The beauty is that we've created a DAO that allows what's called validators that go through various tests. They're external people. Anyone listening can also become a validator. They need to pass a very extensive test of about 70 questions to know their knowledge about blockchain and crypto. And if they pass the test, they can successfully start verifying and validating applications. So they're the ones that are giving the scores. They're checking the design, the speed, the audit reports, the smart contracts, the socials, and everything. And then they give it a certain score. If the score is 3 out of 5, the application successfully can get listed on the store. And so, to a long answer to a short question, I think this validation process to give trust to the users, right? To let them know, okay, these applications have been verified in a decentralized way. I think this is the main thing that the blockchain space so much needs in order for this mass adoption that we're talking about today.
Great. I'm so happy that you mentioned the way you are implementing a kind of, let's say, eligibility test for your DAO members, because I remember myself having this same conversation with various people from DAOs all over the world, and we ended up in the point of okay, so this is of course decentralized, and the more democratized way we can have things function, but how can we how can we be reassured that the people who vote, who have a say, understand what is at stake, what is the question that they are asked to take to take place, to say their opinion. So how could you implement like that? And I was always pro to what you are guys doing exactly. So it's like you're speaking through me, and I think that as of now I haven't heard, and I haven't thought of a better way to have some kind of a solid basis on the people who of course are a part of your DAO and have a say. So this is great, and I'm 100% backing you up on this, and I think you are delivering it the best way possible, as of now at least.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. And I'll ask you this. So we're talking about when will blockchain reach mass adoption, right? There's two main things in my opinion. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion as well. But what I'm seeing, and I'm not here 12 years in the crypto space, but still, a few years, very, very extensive years. I've seen a lot of things, and when we're looking at mass adoption, there's two main things that are preventing this. One is the complexity of using blockchain applications, number one, right? Because if a new user comes, for example, my mom, when I share with her blockchain applications, the second she understands that she needs to download a wallet for a certain blockchain, and then another application is using Solana and she needs another wallet, and then she needs a Cardano. There's no way, as long as we're continuing in this direction, that there's going to be mass adoption. Okay? So I'll share what I think the solution that we're creating. I'd love to hear from you guys. So in order to fix the complexity where a user can access every application without having to worry about what blockchain it's on, we've created what's called a Magic ID. So Magic ID is a decentralized identity. It's similar to the Apple ID, right? When you download an app on the App Store, you click two buttons, use your Apple ID, and then it downloads through your Apple ID. So the Magic ID through Magicsquare is the same kind of idea. If you so you create a Magic ID, and to your decentralized identity, you add and you aggregate all of your wallets to it. So you add your Phantom wallet, let's say your MetaMask wallet or whatever. But let's say you want to access an app that's on a new blockchain, right? Let's say a new blockchain called Crazy Town, whatever, builds a dating app, and I really want to use it. So with the Magic ID, you'll click on that app. Instead of having to download a wallet separately, the Magic ID will suggest you this is the wallet you need, and it will help you automatically create the wallet and send you the secret phrases and do the whole process automated for you. And that way the user won't need to care, okay, this blockchain, I need this wallet, this blockchain, I need this wallet. And I think this will fix the complexity, but until we do fix it, I don't see a way for any mass adoption. I'd love to hear your side on this.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting, very interesting. It's like, if I understand it correctly, it's like implementing some kind of AI or algorithmic, suggestions through your platform. And yes, of course,
the system will automatically know what blockchain the app is built on, and if you don't have that specific wallet in your Magic ID, then with your Magic ID it'll open you the wallet, but you'll be, of course, in custody. We don't hold any keys or stuff like this.
Very interesting approach.
It's very amazing idea. Yeah, Rishi, go ahead.
So going back to the crucial, to the hot topic, what are the issues that are preventing or slowing, mass adoption of blockchain and Web3? No, we could elaborate on that, for days and days. But for me, also personally, and I strongly believe that I express the whole team. The first and foremost is the lack of education, which is, it's kind of combined with how we, the projects that are building and operating in Web3 are communicating what we do in simple terms. So we have to, in many cases, and I've seen that a lot in conferences, but also in Twitter spaces, and when there is a high caliber panel, we tend to communicate with each other in such a high level that we consider that this is the base that everyone can understand, and this is not the case. I think we should lean more towards explaining and describing what we are doing as if we were talking to your mom, like you nicely mentioned before, or to our little cousin, let's say, or brother or sister, or that they are 15 or 16, 18 years old. So for me, this is a crucial friction point. And because people are feeling shy or are afraid to say again and again, okay, guys, I don't understand this. Can you please rephrase it in a better way? Guys, please, can you explain this process again? People do not engage. And I've been in their shoes and I know how this feels. And I totally understand. So this is the major thing for me. And of course, it's the complexity as number two, as you said, as beautifully said, because, when you enter this space, let's put it, more targeted, let's say DeFi space. For a novice user, this is an ocean of information, and they instantly feel suffocating or getting drowned from information from here, from that YouTube channel, from that project, from that Twitter account. They get drowned.
Yeah.
So things have to be more simple and more efficient.
Exactly. Terminology-wise, definitely. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, terminology. There's a funny thing, when you go, right? Like my grandmother, she's 82 years old, and she knows how to use the iPhone and internet. She knows how to access things. She can even buy a stock through her, Interactive Brokers account or through her bank using the phone. But if I go and tell her like, listen, grandma, let's buy an NFT, connect your wallet to the browser extension, I think she's literally going to take her physical wallet and try to stamp it on the computer, right? I mean, there's definitely a huge issue with terminology. It's so complex, and even, you know, I think for intelligent people, it also takes time to understand what goes on. So I'm definitely with you on that. Terminology wise and educational wise, there's an issue. I'll add one more thing, if I may, that's preventing, in my opinion, mass adoption, and that is trust.
Oh yeah, I was going through this. Yeah.
Yes, there's too many incidents that we don't even know about, that a user connected his wallet to a certain application, and that app literally drained everything from the wallet. I have a friend who had not the Bored Ape yacht, but the second one was the Mutant Ape. And it was worth like $80,000. And he connected his wallet.
Wow.
Like an incident to one of the applications, and they literally drowned it from him. Now, we don't hear about that in the news, right? Because we only hear about the big incidents. But every single day, people are getting scammed. So the only way to fix and to bring the mass adoption, in my opinion, is to somehow add a trust layer to the applications. Now, I can share what Magicsquare is trying to do in order to fix that. We started talking about this in terms of the validation process, but I do want to elaborate why it's so important, in my opinion, because until there's going to be, and it can be us, of course I'm biased because I'm in Magicsquare, but whether it's us or whether it's another company or project, until there's a sufficient way to distinguish between trustworthy apps and non-trustworthy apps, there will be no mass adoption. What we're trying to do is simply creating a DAO mechanism to be decentralized and allowing for the validators to, you know, check every aspect of the app itself. And then we have also all these kind of AI tools to help discover if there's scams or if they have like smart contracts things and check their audit reports and all that. So that's really what kind of we're trying to bring together with the easy use kind of mechanism, but also the trust factor. I think this is crucially important because without it, there is no way that we're going to see mass adoption.
Yeah. Totally. I have some things to add at this point. First of all, I want to say, sincerely, that I'm so jealous that you grew up in this family. If your grandma can do these things in her 85, okay, you are blessed, man. Because I'm still talking with people my age and even younger, and who are tech savvy and everything. They're still using the term, "Oh, you are working with these bitcoins." so yeah, your grandma is 10 light years ahead. Back to the security thing you said. Yes, that's especially for DeFi and fintech applications. Yes, this is a big bottleneck. What is very interesting though, if you see the leaderboard with the top, let's say top 50 or top 100 exploits that happened, you will realize that most of them, more than 60 or 70%, were projects that were not even audited, not even once, and not even from the least credible audit company. They were flowing out in the dark, yet people were going in, throwing their hard-earned capital, which was in the tens or hundreds of thousands, and they didn't even care, or they didn't even knew how to search, at least for the basic for the basic things. And if not the most crucial of these basic things is what's the audit behind this platform that I'm throwing my money in. So this, when I saw this for the first time, it came as a shock. Okay, and afterwards, when you start realizing from the little or large experience, it doesn't matter. For me, if you have more than 2 years, you're daily having read in this page, you are considering at least somewhat experienced. So I was starting thinking that these influencers, these people who are becoming a gurus, okay, in this space, and they are not negligible, capital. They influence and they steer things a lot, and they are responsible for many of the all these bad things that happened in the space. No, these people are still having believers and followers, which is reaching a religious levels, and all these things combined, yes, in the terms of security and trust, combined with the education, because I'm always putting education inside this, this mix. Yes, this is a ticking bomb which blows off now and then with the obvious results. And I'm not putting the FTX Luna thing inside, but all the rest. So yes, I'm totally with you. Trust, number one. I am audible, am I? Or no?
Yeah, you're audible, Varys. Yeah. So, when we were discussing about trust and all, so even I thought like one of the main reasons why people would not, put their money on crypto or even in Web3 world to actually interact with dApps or anything of that sort, or they fear that because all these scams and like the reputation of crypto with respect to money has been that it has been in a lot of scams, and it's very very much volatile, and that is all true, but we need to somehow make sure that how people will be able to trust, so that we'll be going with mass adoption for Web3. Yeah, so that was what I was also thinking about.
Correct. Although we have a long way to go, but we have to do small but very decisive steps, and we should definitely collaborate with all the credible and good actors in the space, regardless if they are in our own closed sector or not. Credible stakeholders are credible stakeholders, and they only contribute to the good and to the right path towards spreading all this technology, spreading the trust between the average person globally. So yeah, we should definitely collaborate with as many projects as we can, at least in this basis. And Nate, coming back to a next question that I have for you, how are the current market conditions affecting what you're doing in Magicsquare?
Yeah, that's a good question. Market conditions, you're talking about the ice age that we're in right now, or specifically in like the recent events with FTX?
No. The general market conditions. I don't want to put specifically,
Yeah, amazing. I
in
mean, that's a
a,
good
Bull
question.
market.
So for us, and I'll give all the listeners who aren't familiar with our little bit background. For us, in short, it's actually an amazing time because we're still not on mainnet. We're still on DevNet. We do have about 250,000 users that created what's called the Magic ID that I've talked about earlier, with very limited marketing through our different partners. So I think our first stage in the project was to get the tier one partners that we can. So, for example, we got Binance Labs as investors. We got Republic, Crypto.com Capital, KuCoin, Huobi. So a lot of these big names that have a lot of apps, right? And a lot of connections. That was our first goal. How can we reach the, let's say, 1,000 apps threshold? Because we're a crypto app store, so we need as many apps as possible. And once we've got, these amazing partners, because every day they're sending us more and more apps and more connections, which is helping us to become the leading distribution marketplace for Web3 and blockchain. After we finished that phase one, we went to phase two, which is accelerated building. So we hired another 15 developers, and we've developed what's called the Magic Boost, which is the affiliate network inside of Magicsquare, so that applications that get listed can also have an option to get easy user acquisition, which we can talk about that later on. So those were the two steps. Now, in this current phase that we're in, for us, it really doesn't matter what's the current stage of the prices, let's say, of tokens. What we are caring about is the overall, let's say, feeling towards blockchain. And unfortunately, the recent events did, it harmed a lot of the newcomers. It did. We can't deny that. It created a whole fiasco, which also hurts us in the immediate term. But long term, if we're looking at like 3 to 5 to 7 years, educational wise, if people will start understanding the true value of Web3 and blockchain that we've talked about, transparency, personal freedom. I mean, imagine it's the first time in history that I, as a user of a certain country, can send digital information to another person on the other side of the world that maybe our governments have a certain conflict. So, for example, I'm currently in Israel, right? We have a conflict with Iran on a governmental standpoint, which is complete bullshit, but that is what it is. So I can't interact. If I want to do a business with someone from Iran, I can't do it because I'm living in Israel. So I can't do a bank transfer, for example. But through blockchain, it's the first time in history that I can do it. I have the personal freedom in the first time of history to transact with another person without a trusted third party. And I think that through time, more and more people will understand the fundamental factors in the true kind of added value of blockchain and Web3, not only to personal freedom, but also to personal privacy that we started talking about. And eventually, there will be more and more blockchain applications built. And we want to be that place where if you're a developer and you create an application that you'll know, okay, I can distribute it on the Magic Store. Sorry about that. And if you're a user, let's say in any given time, and you want to find out if an app is reliable and trustworthy and it's not a scam, then you can use the Magic Store validation process to see who's verified. And you'll also be able to access every single blockchain application through your Magic ID without having to worry about what blockchain and what wallets you need. So in short, yes, it's a difficult time, I think, just in a perspective point of view on the whole industry. But who's ever already in the industry understand the true value, and that's why we're doubling down on the efforts of building. We're doubling down on the amount of time that we're putting into building this thing, and hopefully we'll be able to make it work out. Again, phase 1 and 2 with amazing partners we've got amazing apps that, just like yourselves, right? You're doing an AMA voluntarily. No one paid anyone anything. We're not on any agreement. This was completely just to give value to the audience, and I think that's also very important for the whole industry. And I think through time, as long as we'll be able to add value to projects like yourselves with more credibility and more visibility to the users, I think projects like yourselves will also be happy to host us on these kind of AMAs, share different ideas that we create, and as a whole grow the blockchain industry and the Web3 industry to mass adoption, right? And mass adoption is when anyone can use these applications without all these complexities and all this crazy terminology that we have. I think we're still a few years back. Okay, we're not that close to having mass adoption, but things happen fast. I mean, 6 months, 12 months in blockchain time, it's like 10 years in regular time, right? So no one really knows. Totally but we're excited to see how things go and how things play in the next few weeks. It's going to be exciting.
So Nate, I'm always straightforward person, so I would like to tell you personally that I so enjoy this conversation with you. You are always throwing in each one of your answers, you are throwing the basis to elaborate more and more and more and to an endless AMA, and I so dig it. And yes, you are very correct in the sense that you steered our conversation in the important points, which are: what is the Web3? What is the blockchain providing to the average person globally in their everyday life? So what is the freedom that it gives them in things that they could not facilitate until now? So if we detach ourselves from from the stock market kind of thing, okay, which, let's be honest, it's the biggest part that intrigues people of entering, to have some quick gains, and in most of the cases, the most novice people who enter the space think that with the right moves I can be a millionaire by next year or even sooner. And this is nice to have it as a dream, but it's not the only thing that will eventually, survive out of this whole evolution dash revolution for me. So you are very correct with your example between your country and another country, and especially when there is when you have government censorship. So this kind of freedom that we are starting to feel that we can overcome censorship and feel this small breeze of freedom and democracy, which is in our own hands. It's something magical for me. Okay. And I want to ask Ayushman from our team to take the stage now and speak with you. Ayushman?
Yeah, I'm here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked how Nate explained, the very basis of why we require blockchain, and about how I can just send money to anyone, anywhere in the world, without any third party. Especially after the market crash at 2008 is when we saw the evolution of blockchain, Bitcoin coming into the picture. So yeah, that is a great point. And I'm sure our community members here and our listeners here would agree with Nate and Aris on this. Right. So Right. When you mentioned, the DAO would decide, the validators would decide on like verifying if dApp should be listed, and if it's like a good dApp, with a good quality app and having good user base and actual utility, right? And people voting for or against for it. Then I was actually curious to know, what is the verification process for these apps? And like by verification, I know you've explained to us how the validators would have to answer some 60 questions in order to become a validator. But do the validators also have the option to delist a dApp from Magicsquare?
So that's a good question. It's a good question. So let's start from the beginning. Yeah, the way that it works is that Magicsquare has, its users who come on board. They check the different apps, but we also have what's called a validator, where anyone can technically be suggest to become one if they, and to apply. What happens is, yes, they go through a 70 question test to pass it and see their knowledge in the blockchain space. Once they do pass it, they go through what's called a pool of validators. So we currently have about 2,000 validators in our pool. For every app that gets listed, all the 2,000 get a ping, and then the first 250 go and check a certain app. Now, the main question before I answer yours is, okay, but how do I know that these validators give true feedback? Let's just say they're not pressing 11111. So what happens is we have an AI technology that uploads a lot of times apps that seem real but are not, just to check who's, for example, if we added like a spam or a scam app, and see which ones automatically, give right feedback, or which ones just pressing 111 whatever. And then of course they get blocked, the ones that are spamming and not giving truthful, I would say, scores and stuff like this. So that's one way that we only keep validators who are contributing truly to the ecosystem. That's number one. Now, if the app does get 3 out of 5 score, and again, the different things are, as you've said, like it can be the smart contracts they check, the audit reports, the speed of the app, malicious activity and stuff like this. If it gets listed, amazing. Now you're asking if it can get also delisted, which is a great question. And the answer is, at any time, anyone that's holding an SQR token can request to get a vote on a certain app to get delisted. It's not active yet. It's still in the progress. But for example, yes, if a certain app, it changed its owners, and now the owners want to do some malicious activity, then we'll need to know that, of course, right? So we have our ways with AI technology to check the background of apps, but of course the community will be a big factor in helping us know that. So if you're holding an SQR token, you can propose a certain governance or a certain change, and then it's going to go to a vote. And if it's going to go through a certain internal process first, of course, so we don't have a million votes every single day. But technically, long answer to a short question, yes, it can be possible. And of course, we're going to do in our back end the most precise job with all the other tools that we have, because there are some tools currently to check malicious activities, but you still don't have in a precise way. And we're trying to be near perfection, right? On knowing exactly before malicious activity happens, if it happens. So yes, it's definitely something that will be part of the whole DAO mechanism, and that's just another way of us giving to the user base and saying, like, it's not finished if an app got listed and verified. There's still process behind the scenes continuously checking that the app now doesn't change things on the back end and becomes malicious.
Okay, wow, that was interesting. Like, I mean, you guys using AI and blockchain to create this product is very cool, because like there's very few like the projects I know of who use AI and blockchain together um, in their product.
Yeah,
So
appreciate it. I mean, we got some good developers. There's a good there is an amazing project that is using a lot of AI. I forgot its name, but it's the guy that helped build Sophia, the
oh,
human
Sophia.
robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't remember what's the name of the app, but they're also using it. And yeah, I mean, AI will start being more and more accessible to the development phase. And again, it's just a fancy name of saying code, right? So we're using
Right.
code
The
to
goal.
exactly. You're using code to give as much value as possible to the ecosystem as possible.
And that's a great subject for an upcoming AMA or a Twitter Spaces, by the way.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Um. Right. So, I mean, I'm glad to know that there is this delisting of a platform and as well as validators who are not adding value to your platform, because that's quite important in democratizing the platform. Okay, so coming to the next question, Nate. So you mentioned in between about Magic Boost, right? So I wanted to know, and I'm pretty sure like our listeners would also want to know, like, what is Magic Boost, and why are you guys creating it? Like, for what problem will Magic Boost solve?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a great question. So, to all the new listeners, basically we have Magic Store, which is a crypto app store, and inside of the Magic Store, you have a tab. And by the way, I highly recommend everyone that's listening here. I see there's a few hundred people. Just go to magic.store, and then you can create a Magic ID and actually do everything that we're talking about here. So you can create an account and test the store for yourself. And once you go to magic.store, you'll see a tab that's called Magic Boost. Now, to understand the true value of Magic Boost, we first need to understand what's the current problems in for blockchain projects. So I don't know if you've experienced it yourself, but we did when we tried to do some marketing on Twitter ads and on Facebook ads and Instagram, basically, which is the same thing. Our advertising account got blocked because we use things that are related to blockchain and crypto. And a lot of these social giants are still not that very friendly to blockchain projects promoting themselves because of exactly the things that we're seeing now. Some say it's still a fraud and stuff like this. So we have extensive experience in what's called affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is where through code, through unique links, anyone can have a unique promotion link and can track visitors and purchasers through his unique link. So anyone can literally earn money from promoting through what's called an affiliate network. Okay, so as I mentioned before the call, as part of our background, myself and the CMO of the project, Benjamin, our previous venture was real estate affiliates for about 10 years. It was one of the biggest affiliate networks in real estate in the world. And what we wanted to do not only is to become the leading distribution marketplace for apps, but also to allow them to acquire new users through affiliate marketing. Because through affiliate marketing, there's huge advantages for the projects. Number one, it's you decide on the amount that you want to pay per user. Number two, you get tons and tons of different people promoting your project, right? Because everyone wants to earn money. I mean, even we have now an offer, like a Passenger offer, right? Which is it's an app. So you can literally log in, and if someone purchases an NFT through Passenger, then you get $15. So we have people that are just sending it to their friends and saying, hey, look at this project called Passenger. Download the app. And if you like something, I can earn money from it. And so they're promoting the projects. Some do it like this. Some, of course, send it to their email. Some promote it on their websites. But the beauty of affiliate marketing is that as a company, you have many, many advertising points that you can get. You can reach out through TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and you only pay for successful transactions. So what we're seeing is more and more projects are saying, hey, you know what? I'm paying Google for every new user to my wallet or to my play to earn game. I'm paying $100, right? Even you guys, we still didn't have the Magic Boost call, but I'm sure you guys, once you'll start, massively and scaling your user base, you're going to see through Google or through Facebook or whatever PPC marketing tool you're going to do, you're going to see that it's going to cost you X amount of dollars. Through affiliate marketing, you can decide, I'm adding this offer to the network of affiliates and I want to pay X minus $5 to make it a cheaper way for you to attract new users, right? And the beauty is that you'll only pay for successful transactions that people successfully made. You don't pay for impressions, right? If you pay right now an influencer on YouTube that does a video, you pay for the video. You pay $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 for someone creating a video talking about your project. But the same way, you can add an affiliate offer. YouTubers and TikTokers will take their unique link. They'll create videos about you. And if the videos get hundreds of thousands of views, but only, let's say, one conversion, you're only going to pay for one conversion. And that's the beauty. So we're seeing a lot of applications saying, you know what? I can also be discovered on the Magic Store, which is a crypto app store, and I can also increase my user acquisition in a much cheaper way. And that's kind of the enlightenment that a lot of these applications are coming through. It is fairly new. We only launched it about a few weeks ago, and we're still adding more and more tools and insight. But because we have such a ton of extensive experience with affiliate marketing, we were able to get about 20,000 affiliates registered to the network. And that's why a lot of applications now that are getting listed are very, very excited about this. And again, the whole idea of this is to increase the mass adoption of blockchain projects and users coming into blockchain projects. And we think that through Magic Boost, it will definitely help this mass adoption accelerate, because now every single person can become a promoter of blockchain projects, and every blockchain project can get thousands of different promoters in a click of a button.
Right. Got it. I mean, I like the fact that how you mentioned, like, if only 1% of let's say user convert, then you only pay for that. It's like a pay as you convert model.
Yeah, that's called affiliate marketing. Yes, you
Yeah.
decide on the payout, and if the conversion is met, you pay. If not, then no.
Right. And like how there's so much community involved in all of this, which is amazing, because Web3 without community would actually not be possible, and also mass adoption wouldn't be possible because of the community contribution. So yeah, I mean, that's a very cool thing. And I just even put up the link of Magicsquare. So guys, you can check it out at magic.square. Sorry, magic.store. And
Magic.store, yes.
yeah, and I recently checked it out, and I like the UI because it's pretty intuitive. And yeah, that's I mean, kudos to your design team and the devs for making it smooth.
I appreciate that. Yes, we have amazing UI and UX developers really helping us out. We've got great advisors. So on that end, I think we're doing a great job. We're getting a lot of feedback, and yeah, now it's just execution time. Now we just need to make sure that we give as much value as possible to the users and to the applications, and then we're good to go.
Right, right. So a follow up on this, like since you mentioned, you guys are gaining a lot of feedback and traction on the platform. So maybe do you have any like, could you give us any small glimpse about for the next 6 to 12 months about any significant milestones which your team is running for, and for the community, for Web3, for the mass adoption. So do you have any can you give us some small glimpse about it?
Yeah, sure. And I think we'll wrap up with this since I do have another meeting that I need to go to. So I apologize for everyone.
Yeah,
But we
sure.
can follow up AMA if we have a lot of people asking questions and stuff. Yeah, so 6 to 12 months, I think the main goal of Magicsquare is to fix the two main things that are preventing mass adoption that we talked about. Number one is continuing to increase the ability of users to access applications without having to worry about what chain the application is on through the Magic ID. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of new improvements and features built into that. And the main goal, let's say in 12 months, is that every single person won't have to care about all these different freaking wallets and all these different freaking blockchains. Okay, it's not, there's no way. I heard there's a Sui blockchain now, and there's Aptos blockchain, and then we have Solana with the FTX. No way, okay? No freaking way. So that's the 12 months, I think, time span. If we get to that, it's going to be amazing. It can't take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, doesn't really matter, okay? But as long as we're, I think, continuing to build for that goal, I think then we're in a good way, because that's still going to prevent mass adoption. Second thing I would say is increasing the value that we give to the applications themselves. Right? We talked about Magic Boost, and we talk about the whole distribution and incentivization for developers to continue to develop apps. Again, when you think about it, there's only 500,000 to 1 million daily active users that are using blockchain. I'm not talking about the traders, right? I'm talking about blockchain applications. There's only 500,000 to 1 million daily active users, okay? Compared, we're really new to this. Sorry, I had to, I think. Can you hear me, guys, by the way?
Yeah. We lost you just for a minute.
Yeah. So, again, for the apps, just as much value as possible to give them, allow them to reach as many users as possible. And I think if we are able to do that in the next 6 to 12 months and help with the mass adoption, together with projects like yourselves and other ones that are continuing to educate and give as much value as possible, I think we're on the right path. I think eventually we will see that $1 billion mark, as long as more and more people get enough value from this industry.
Great. So I didn't even see how time flew. Guys, we are already over our time limit. Nate, it was a real pleasure having you here. This conversation was a joy. We had a blast. Unfortunately, we don't have much more time from Twitter Spaces, platform. And please, I'm referring to all our audience, guys. If you have a question, just put it under, under the tweet that we posted about this AMA, and we'll make sure to answer each and every one of you. Do please follow Magicsquare's Twitter at Magicsquare.io, one word. Also, you can visit their website. It's Magicsquare.io. We are from Hashtag. We are building the first under collateralized lending solution for the retail market without credit scores. You can see our Twitter at 0x hashtag, and check our website at hashtag.finance. It was a real pleasure to have you all here with us. Have a great day. See you all in our next AMA. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Nate. Appreciate it. Thank you, community.
Appreciate it as well. Thank you very much. Bye.